Good morning, family. Good morning, friends. And I really appreciate you showing up here today because without partners and friends like you, BCL will not be able to accomplish what we set up to do. We have to work and collaborate and partner. That's how things happen, both public and private partnerships. So thank you so much for coming here. I express my gratitude for taking time out of your busy, busy schedules to be here today. So before I even move forward, I just want to thank my staff. For those of you who are here, please show your hands because they did all this work. Petula, Clarence, the operations team, they've been planning this for weeks since I challenged them in December. I said, you know what? I'm in my 7th year at BCL, and I believe in the whole process of completion. I've been around in the industry, banking and finance, over 45 years since 1980. So I'm not just coming here to BCL. I had a life before BCL, but it will continue after BCL. But I believe in transformation and changes. I think it's time for me to step back and let someone else, younger or older, whatever, take BCL to the next level. I've done my part, but didn't want to leave without making sure we focus on the urgency of today, which is vacant housing. So during the holiday, the team, we had a holiday dinner, a party, and I challenged them. I said, my year is ending 2026, the end of the year, but it's not about me. I don't want just a legacy about Watchen Bruce. This is not about Watchen Bruce. This is about Baltimore. This is about transformation. This is about neighborhood revitalization. And we have to do something aggressive. But if I'm going to use my name in this initiative, it must be something that people can see and touch. And when I leave, I can drive back and see the transformation and redevelopment in the city of Baltimore. I moved here 20 years ago from the city of Boston. I worked with the city of Boston as the project manager, managing CDBG funds. And I came here because I saw the opportunities. And Boston, 30 years ago, is what Baltimore is experiencing, the vacant housing. But with public-private partnership, Boston was transformed. For those of you who know Roxbury and Dorchester, there's not a single house in the communities of color that's vacant. There's no billable lots, there's no vacant homes, and nothing is affordable. Okay? Because of gentrification. But we are one of the last cities that can manage our vacant housing and make sure we are intentional that the young people can afford to own homes. But it wouldn't happen if we do not work with our developers like Alex, Dean, or Joanna, Bree, and all of the other developers in the city. We have to support them as a community development financial institution. We are a CDFI and we are a mission-based lender. So let me tell you a little bit about who we are as a CDFI. We are mission-based, but our focus is Fashion, can you put on the first slide, the second slide? Our mission says it here. I'm not going to read it, I will just summarize it. But our mission is to revitalize and strengthen underserved communities across Baltimore with innovative financing and collaborative resources. We cannot do that with our partners, financial partners, and both public and private. So with this mission of revitalization, we have to be focused. And we know this is what we have to do. We have over 3 decades of experience doing just that. Baltimore Community Lending been around for 36 years. With those 36 years, we work with developers in various neighborhoods across the city. But the urgency is Baltimore still have a lot of vacancy. So we have to work with the city and the developers to make sure we have a major impact block by block. Not one house, two houses, but neighborhoods have to be transformed, like what happened in Boston, but making sure they become homeowners who can afford it and stay here, the locals. And people will want to live here. Our role is to make sure that our vision remains the same year in, year out, which is transforming vacant, underutilized properties into homes, businesses, and also healthy and safe. Economic development cannot happen if we do not have safe homes. Crime rate's going to go down because people will value where they live. So they all work together. It's a holistic approach. We also help people create businesses, start, expand businesses, but those businesses need to have places to operate that is safe and also make sure that it's complete, comprehensive community economic development. The houses cannot be by themselves, neither the businesses. So our role is to make sure that we have small business loans to create entrepreneurship and have the access capital also to make sure that we provide business coaching, mentoring, and education. Also, part of our initiatives, we are focused on reducing vacant housing, like I said, to make sure that our neighborhood become vibrant and people want to live there. People will live wherever they feel safe and want to make sure that they remain in these neighborhoods. Okay? So the initiative we have now is a challenge. The challenge to us and you are currently doing it, but we must make it an emergency, a crisis, because no city should have even 10,000 vacant homes, even though based on the statistic it's saying 13,000. Even 10,000 is a lot. Those 10,000 should be occupied by owner-occupied or residents or rented units where people feel safe and want to attract other people from outside the district. So our need here is we need to make sure based on all of the CBS, NWY, PR, I'm sure some of you have heard this, but they all have been reporting on the vacant and abandoned housing, privately owned and city owned. We have to find a way to work with the owners to transform these ownership to developers who will redevelop and stabilize these homes. So what we are trying to do is to make sure we highlight this plight because I think it is a plight. We want to make sure that people who live in the city and want to stay in here have the opportunity to purchase homes, but most importantly, educate them with home buyers education because that's just one way of creating wealth. If they become homeowners, the properties do appreciate, and that's equity they could use to start a business. So we are a resource, but we want to make sure we work with you to raise the capital to produce the supply that's needed. Next, so our approach to transformation, there are barriers to acquisition in terms of appraisal gaps, title defects, even permitting from the city. We all know with the bureaucracy in the city, It has to change. But we have to work with them because we are the users. We went through the same process to acquire our building here. Simple things like just getting sign permit to put our sign up. It takes months. It shouldn't take